need the opportunity to be hands-on and to come to shows and pick up things and look at them.
Prices are like raising and raising.
Yeah. And in the old days, we didn't have internet.
Hello everybody, this is War Story Video Vlog. I'm Alex and here is Kelly Hicks. Hello Kelly.
Hey Alex, how are you? Good to see you.
Fine, good to see you here. Good to see you here at SOS Show 2024. This is the first video interview with Kelly Hicks here, and I'm proud myself. We finally can do one.
No, this is great. I'm honored as well.
And actually, Kelly Hicks doesn't need to be introduced because every collector, like helmet collector, knows him. Because you are one of the most famous helmet collector in the world, and you are the author of book, and it's very cool. And actually, I was surprised you knew the channel.
Oh, absolutely. So I do watch the channel a lot, and Alex does, in my opinion, a really good service to collectors and to the hobby. And it's informative. All of my friends watch you as well, so this is a real treat. This is cool.
I really appreciate your feedback.
Thank you. Sure.
And here at your table, could you tell us something about like your collection? And sure. I know I have so many questions to you about like helmets. Maybe you can share like information, and we can do like kind of tutorial how to know like is it original helmet or is it no? Because for some subscribers, for some viewers, it's kind of magic. Right. Like expertise of it. So maybe you can tell about it roughly.
Sure, absolutely. And I would start by saying I think a lot of collectors need the opportunity to be hands-on and to come to shows and pick up things and look at them in the flesh. There's a lot of business that gets done on the internet, but that's not as complete a picture for everybody as when they can come and sort of, you know, commune with their friends and learn things by holding it in hand. And just a quick, for instance, here we have a fairly typical Army M40. So it issued to the Wehrmacht in the old days. It already has been repainted once with a thick brush, and then it's been whitewashed. And what you see, this sort of dusky finish on it, is the remnants of the whitewash. And I deign to hold it too much because I don't want to sort of, you know, dissolve it, but whitewash, they would put it on for winter combat and then scrub it off. This one may have been late enough in the war, maybe the Ardennes or something like that, where there was no time to scrub off the whitewash. Yeah. And that's what they look like, you know.
Actually, I really like this helmet because of exactly the same type of camo and exactly the same time of washing you can see on the Eastern Front in Russia, in Soviet Union territory. Because, for example, in Sinavina area, in Leningrad area, I can find, and I did, helmets exactly the same like type of color. And actually, there's a good point. Usually, helmets with just one layer of factory paint are more like more rusty than this, because it kind of preserving.
It does, definitely. That's a good point. And we've seen a lot of relic helmets come out of the East over the last couple of decades, and you can tell when you watch the videos of them digging them right out of the ground, they're still very white. Yeah, I think the lack of oxygen or whatever under the ground kind of helps preserve that. I've had people ask me that question kind of frequently here at the show, so I thought I just would mention it. There's also a lot of scams like anything else. So some of the relic helmets are just helmets that got buried to make them look, you know, and so it becomes very nuanced to tell the difference. But from a relic to something not relic, but very almost new condition, just as it was issued. So this one, I got back after 21 years. I sold it to a good friend. I published this in my book. It's a M40 single decal SS helmet produced by Eisenhüttenwerk Thale, which is ET, and it's in a size 64 shell. Basically not worn very much. Very nice condition, very minty.
It's unbelievable.
One ding on the runes, but that's the classic ET decal. I'm just really happy to get it back. So,
how long did you
You know what? It's hard for me to remember
Exactly.
exactly some of the nuances of the deal, but I sold it to a good friend in 2003 when I just came back from Hong Kong, and I had this back then. So
And did you buy it in United States or in Europe?
United States.
United States. So it's a broadback piece.
Yeah, it's a so. But we were talking a little bit earlier, and I would like to expand on that point a little bit. So when I started collecting, the veterans who brought these back were in their 40s, and my father liked to collect guns and so forth. They liked Lugers, so we'd go to the gun shows, and they were everywhere out in the country, at the county fairgrounds, that kind of thing. And the vets would have, there would be stacks of helmets on some tables, like 4 or 5 helmets high, belts, equipment, whatever the GIs brought back, that was their stuff they brought from home. And they took it from a captured soldier or maybe someone who died in combat. And we were seeing them when they were new, and we saw the condition that they were in, and we were able to learn so much, and we had no idea how much we were learning. In other words, nowadays you really have to get the books, talk to people, seek out the experts. Anyone who cares to come to my table, they can get a card or photograph the sign. I'm always available for that. But my best passion of this whole thing, and then I'll stop talking a little bit, is to be able to share information, and it strengthens goodwill and good friendships, but it also teaches young people how to collect.
That's very important.
And that's the future. One last point. This show, this time has been the best one I've seen in maybe 10 years in terms of attendance and quality of items. Incredible.
On my opinion, actually, I already shared this opinion in my Russian-speaking channel, because prices are like raising and raising.
Yeah.
And because of that, people finally decide, start to sell something.
Yes.
So before that, it was like, maybe it's too cheap to sell. So for example, like helmet for like 1,500. Why? I don't really need 1,500 to do something. But now when it's like 2,500 and you can do something, you can go to Disneyland with your kids for this helmet, for example. And now when it started cost like more than psychological barrier for collectors, they start to sell items. It's actually really like great opportunity to buy. For me, it was very successful show.
Absolutely correct. I'm seeing things. I've been collecting over 50 years. I'm seeing things that I've wanted all my life. I collect SSVT uniforms.
That's cool.
They're hard to find. And some folks have been smoked out by the prices. They're bringing them, and you can find really, really nice things. So yeah, that's been great.
Yes,
That's been cool. And of course, I collect helmets too. But
And actually, I bought some helmets here at that show and some before, and maybe I can show it to you like later if we can meet in person and film like interview about helmets also, or just have conversation and show it to our subscribers.
that would be fantastic, and we could deep dive on some topical areas.
That's
Sure.
very cool. Thank you. And at the end of the video, I have an idea. Let's do a short tutorial about like how to know is it like original helmet or not. I mean, is it original decal? How to like watermarks you should have to pay attention at, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh wow, my grammatics is better. But let's do it like
Sure.
step by step.
Okay.
From
I can do it with
Kelly Hicks.
So you're confronted with a helmet. Somebody wants to sell you a nice looking helmet. You're like, is this real? How do I tell? So there's some characteristics. This is very high level. It's not definitive, but the first thing you see obviously is the paint and the decal. On the ET helmet in 1940, which this is the vintage of this, it's textured, but very fine texture. It's not so rough like they were later on. So look for a slightly fine texture. Look for the ET pattern decal. That's the blockier runes, not the CA poker type. I don't have a poker handy to show the difference at the moment. But if you look at it with magnification, you'll notice a very slight roundness on the corners of the runes. And there was kind of the Germans, well, if you know about art, the leg of the bottom of the rune is visually no longer, but it is longer by a little bit. And that creates the image of balance and symmetry. And on the fake ones, oftentimes, when the legs of the runes are the same length, you'll see the top part looking taller. It's a nuance, but look at the thing with your magnification, look for the nuances of the corners and so forth. And it's not glittery and it's not thick. This is the thinnest celluloid. And I believe these ET decals on the M40 style were probably face downs maybe. So there's no real carrier material that adds another layer. And so you don't feel thickness. All you can feel is the texture of the paint. When you very lightly, don't scratch or anything.
Yeah.
That's mythology, by the way. Someone scratched a decal once years ago. They said if you can scratch it, it's not real. I was like, oh, okay. So that's not true, by the way.
It's like if she burns, she's wish.
That's oh my God, yeah, yeah. So you go to the inside. Helmets have a heat lot number for gauging for quality control of the metal of the steel, because the Germans would penalize the company if the metal broke when they were testing it or whatever. This one is 683, which puts it in the earliest part of the M40 production. So let's say August 1940-ish. And it's got the size marking ET64. The shell size is 64. That means the liner should be a 56 or a 57 for a size 64 shell. This one's a 56. And you can see the little marking right there. So that is how sort of the components fall together, from paint to decal to liner. Sometimes the chin straps are dated. This one has a bit of wear on the tip and it's difficult to read the numbers. I probably have it written down somewhere, but the point is you can find information on the strap. If it's 40 or 41 dated, very good. One last thing about chin straps. They weren't made of iron. They were the easiest thing to break or come loose. And if you look at the original films and photographs of the SS in action, they will have a helmet hanging by its chin strap on the side of a tank or on their webbing. So with that kind of wear and tear, you're going to replace straps. They're called expendable durables. It's a military term we used to use. So that's about it on that. Just for a quickie tutorial, but I hope at least it gets some thought process going.
But it's actually like it's quick tutorial for now, but like 25 or 30 years ago, when people didn't know that it is a decal, it is not just a painting or something. This information could worth like millions in that time. And actually now it also costs a lot, because if you know how to properly use this information, you can be safe. And helmet is not just like a piece of metal with like is an emblem. And when you buy like SS helmet, it's not just because of decal, because like many parts
have to come together.
Yes,
right.
In exactly the same time and place.
So yeah, absolutely true. And in the old days, we didn't have internet. Books were scarce. Nobody knew where to go to get them. So you learned by trial and error. So I was pretty lucky to have the early days where there weren't too many fakes. There were, but not so many. That was helpful too.
That's awesome. I really appreciate your agreement to make an interview and your patience when I do grammatical mistakes. Respell it.
This is perfect.
Yeah, but anyway, thank you very much for your time. Thank you guys for watching this video until the end, and don't hesitate to ask questions in comments section. And if you want like another interview with Kelly Hicks, and if you want more helmets in War Story channel, please let us know. We're like happy to show it.
Absolutely. Outstanding.
And again, thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend.
And again, thank you very much.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Thank you guys for watching this video until the end. Have a good one and see you real soon.